Axel is the main... Oh, that's too early. Antonin, that's too early. Axel is the main...
Yes.
Are you here, Axel? Already?
Yes. No.
Hey, Axel, servus. Axel is the main rapporteur of the Parliament's Special Committee on Artificial Intelligence in the digital age, which aims to take a horizontal approach on AI, not a bureaucratic approach, promise me. Analyzing its future impact on the EU economy, focusing on skills, employment, education, health, transport, environment, industry, and e-government, and third country approaches to AI. Axel will get us up to speed with what the European Parliament's latest initiative is. Welcome, Axel Voss.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, and thanks also for this wonderful introduction. And I'm very grateful that you have invited me once again. And I'm a little bit sad that I can't be in person there now with you, because you're creating a special atmosphere for all these issues around data, digitalization, and so on. So last time when I have been at the DLD, so I talked a little bit about the digital manifesto I submitted in 2020 or 2019. I can't remember when it has been. So I called there for a European digital agenda with clear priorities that we need to focus in a common effort, European effort to the next few years. I'm still convinced this is necessary. And as you all know, digitalization has already and will continue also to have a strong part and impact on our day-by-day life, and has led to radical changes and in almost every part in our economy and society. And despite our ambition to remain competitive at a global level, we are falling more, and this is my feeling, and I do not know if you're agreeing, but we are falling more and more behind in the digital world. And so as we can see, none of the digital top companies is a European one. So therefore, I'm fearing that the risk is there that the next technological decades will be entirely shaped by non-European actors that do not share our values, traditions, standards, and even probably undermine them. So I think we need more efforts than before to catching up with these development and potential consequences of this complete dependency on external forces that not only destruct or might destruct our employment, but also our entire future global competitiveness, our wealth, our security, our chance for innovating towards a sustainable future. And here, this scenario calls more than less for digital sovereignty, for a European one. And the European way of digitization, which contrasts the US American and the Chinese approach, is more human-centered, value-oriented, based on the concept of the social market economy. It would create a digital environment for individual self-determination and legally guaranteed personal freedom, while at the same time reducing our dependency on foreign hardware, software, and services. And striving for this digital sovereignty does not mean that the European Union should become protectionist. So we are and we should always be a champion of international cooperation, also free flow of data and trade. We also have to acknowledge that many digital innovations rely on complex value chains, collaborative ecosystems and well-functioning relations with our international partners, and therefore digital sovereignty parameters we want to use for digital technologies, and so this means to take independent decisions on all of this. So instead of excluding non-European companies from the digital single market, we should even increase the cooperation with our trustworthy international partners that share our values. At the same time, we should make decisive long-term investments in key sectors to give us more options to choose from or to enable European business to compete, to grow, and both across the EU and in the global market. So, and here it comes, of course, and we have to realize that AI is of strategic relevance. And so now this is also, AI is also at the heart of technological innovation and, sorry, and should be at the heart of our digital agenda. So again, I still would say, even if we have the resources or the knowledge, some experts or a lot of experts in Europe, the innovation in this field is also taking more, or is placed outside Europe. And the lack of big data algorithms, training purposes, as well as the uncertainty for companies caused by ongoing discussions about legal and ethical questions. So, and here we have now on the European level 2 pillars how we are acting on AI. We have set up a special committee on AI where I'm happy to have been appointed to be the lead rapporteur here. And we focus here on the potential of AI in all aspects of the society. So, as you already mentioned before, competitiveness, industry, security, democracy, sustainability, health, employment, and this is what we would like to focus on. But I have also to admit that we have still fulfilled the, I would say, so the preconditions for AI. And so therefore I'm asking ourselves, do we have already the right infrastructure in place, the connectivity, whatever this might be, broadband, 5G, 6G, whatever it is. Do we have also as a precondition for AI and training algorithms, do we have enough data, and especially quality data, to get the right knowledge or the right results out of this, or what we are expecting? Is cybersecurity already installed in a proper way? Do we have regulated enough regarding patents or the copyright question? What about the ethical standards? And here, as you, we are famous in the European Parliament for not being very easy in trying to get a kind of a full picture of everything. And so we might end up here with a whole wish list how algorithms should be acting. So, of course, we are coming here to human-centered and human-developed. We will ask for risk assessment. It has to be compliant to the GDPR. It should be sustainable. And most important, it should be transparent, explainable, not biased, and so therefore gender balanced and not discriminatory. So this is probably what we are asking at the end for AI. But again, coming back to the preconditions, of course, we need definitions for AI. And also, what I would say, we should focus more on the high-risk AI system. And what does this mean? What is AI high risk? And so we need then also in Europe the research, the development, the investments, of course, massively investments. And of course, what you can't really regulate in a way is we need the political way in surviving in the digital age as the European Union. And therefore, also, we should set our priorities, whatever this might be. I would be happy already to have some priorities in place. And then also getting probably standardization in a better shape. And we as a legislator also have to be more flexible and more reacting better on the rapidly changing world. And so we show that the chances, in my report, so the upcoming report, I would like to show that the chances of AI outweigh its risk. And with sufficient safeguards, we can use AI for the good of our society. And we call, therefore, again, one for these sufficient investments, legal certainty, more innovation-friendly climate, but I hope we will have also a majority for all of these. And then coming back to the question of data, the fundament of everything in the digitalization, data, we need a lot of data. And here we are coming, of course, also to the data protection, the general data protection regulation. So I still think the idea how we have created the GDPR should have been differently today created. So we are starting in the GDPR, let's say, please do not process data unless you have a reason why. And probably in a data-driven world, the totally adverse aspect would be the correct one in being a better competitor as we are now. Of course, this should not mean that we won't give up data protection. No, totally not. This is the right concept. The idea of data protection is totally right. But we have to have this balance also to other ideas, and also because of the meaning of data has totally changed. Data not only means, oh, you might infringe the fundamental right. No, this is now affecting competition. It's affecting health if you do not have too much data for creating also new knowledge on data. So, of course, then we need to find a kind of a balance, what we should think about, how we can balance better instead of having GDPR as the gold standard and the gold fundamental right, what covers all other fundamental rights. No, I think we need to be more practical here, and we should also start to think about how we can balance data, also personal data, if it comes to climate change, or if it comes to health, or if it comes to security. And here we need also this better balanced situation, because I do not want to give up the fight against climate change, my health or my security because of data protection. And there is no need to do so. But it's still a kind of a problem to access large amount of high quality data to train algorithms in Europe. I'm more and more hearing some entities saying, oh, I have to go outside of Europe to train my algorithm and then I'm coming back again. But this shouldn't be an intention. The intention of a legislator shouldn't be the intention of the GDPR. And therefore, I'm always asking for modernizing the GDPR already, although I know it's only in place already since 3 years. But there are some problems with it. We know this. And if we would like to get better, I'm expecting from politicians and I'm expecting also from a legislator, that he can act more quickly, more speedy in changing these if we are seeing a problem. So let's take this case of AI as an example here. If we are coming to blockchain, or if we're coming to text and data mining, or biometrics, or health, especially in the pandemic situation, health data and the European health data space will be built up in a way, but it's taking too long. And therefore, I would say we need to have more creative ideas also to combine data protection with the innovation. And this is what I'm asking for more than this. So these health data, and also with large data sets, AI can help in the health sector with diagnosis, treatment, exploring new diseases, as well as the development of new medication. So, however, the GDPR provisions of data minimization and also and purpose specification slow down and often even hinder medical research in practice. It doesn't mean, so we have some tools in the GDPR that we can do more, but also it's a question of mentality in this regard. So, for instance, personal data used for one specific clinical trial can only be used again for similar or follow-up research, and if all persons involved give consent again, and you know how complicated this is. So we need here to be more creative, working with trustees or whatever it is. And probably there are technologies already in place that we can use some of these business models in a different way, and being also compliant with the GDPR. But I think still the piece of GDPR is in some aspects a type of overregulation, and not only hold us back in a global race, and it changing or being modernizing a little bit could save also life in this health data aspect. So we shouldn't, and let me repeat this once again, we shouldn't put the right of privacy over any other fundamental right. We need in a data-driven world data protection, but we also need the other aspects. So the proposal by the Commission now for a regulation of AI is trying to answer all of these. But again, some of these aspects in this proposal, and we have to deal with these in the European Parliament still. We haven't done this so far. And here we need also to have in mind, we should more have in mind the possibilities of, if it's come to data of anonymization, pseudonymization, voluntarily data donating, and so on. But in this AI proposal, we have to be careful that we are concentrating only on high-risk elements, and that we are not trying to regulate everything. And also I have some positive and negative aspects on the proposal, but in a way it's also a good idea to come up with a proposal like this. And therefore now we have to deal here in the European Parliament with it, and later on with the European Council. So AI is way too often presented as a threat. So while we do need sufficient safeguards, we need to look at its potential and the chances, and we have to use it to the good for all. And that is why we need AI made in Europe for our prosperity, our competitiveness, but also our sustainability, our health, our security, and our European values. Thanks a lot that I have had the opportunity once again to be with you, and still I'm missing the atmosphere with you directly.